It's clear what what side of the couch sit on.
Definitely. Well, not that
box shit.
He can get that stuff over there. He can be out the door. Not that box shit.
Welcome back to the Unpopular Opinion. This is the third part of our episode. Again, for those who are just tuning in, the topic is gender bias. The men are talking about the women are talking about the men. If you missed the first two parts, men had their time to speak, women had their time to speak, and now we're going to collectively go over how we feel and respond to one another. All right? Ladies, is there a certain question that y'all want to hit on that the men answer?
Maturity.
The maturity one?
Definitely mature, but I also want to talk about how. I'm just putting my two out there.
Mm-hmm.
The maturity, as well as women have it easier than men. So we can start with maturity. That's fine.
All right, fellas, what y'all want to hit on?
Oh, I want to know the definition of submissive. Like,
Okay.
what your definition is.
Okay.
So, ladies, y'all want to go first?
Okay. So I know one thing that was said. I don't remember who said it, but it was that you attributed maturity with physical maturity.
So that was the thing that I said. I said a lot of the times when people use that phrase that women mature faster than men, it's because it's referencing just physically they mature faster than what men do, and it's never really talking about them cognitively.
Right. So are you saying that that's in correlation with cognitive maturity, or you're just talking about physical maturity?
When people use that point, they're talking about physical, thinking they're speaking about cognitive when it's not.
Okay.
So that's why a lot of times when it's brought up, it's as far as the brain development and rational thought, men are better suited in that area than women are. Or, excuse me, not better suited, but that part develops.
Faster?
Yeah, that part develops
Is that
faster.
scientific? You have facts? Is that fact?
Honestly, I really wish I would have did my facts.
I was about to say, because I don't.
Do you have facts? Do you have facts?
No, I don't. I'm not a scientist at all. No.
But again, this is all opinion based anyway. So I'll still say, men, just speaking as a man and just my experiences with women, we do compartmentalize, and then our mental malleability is a lot different than women are, in the sense that sometimes I feel like when women think or whenever they try to process information, sometimes it goes kind of all over the place. I'm trying to figure this out, or figuring this out, and then with men it's just more concise. It's let's boom, 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 boom. It's more of a straight line than it is kind of
That's
all out of the
interesting.
area.
That's interesting.
If you could have the ability to think about certain multiple things at one time, that
I think we're just great multitaskers. I don't think it's a fact of disorganization, if that's kind of how you're pointing.
And I also think that we're naturally just more, I don't want to say in tune, but we can associate one behavior with something else because we pay attention to detail. Women are way more in tune to detail. That's a fact. It's 100% a fact.
Oh, y'all can talk now. Go ahead.
I don't know if that's true.
I don't have my phone on me.
I don't know if that's true.
You don't think that women are more detailed than men?
no.
Really?
Why?
No. Why not? You're the first men to ever say that.
So, when I think of detail, I think of direction. Men are better with direction.
For me, I would have to agree with that because I'm
Girls don't know where they be going. You can go
where they at half the
I'm
time.
a million
with
times
direction.
and not know how to get there again.
She's I can speak for her. She's great with direction, but me, I will call my brother up real quick because I just feel I don't pay attention to things.
She's just on face the whole time.
She's good with directions, but I can't speak for
everything.
everything.
And relationship aspect, I'm just gonna go into that.
Okay.
I feel like the man learns his girl faster than the girl learns the man.
Yeah, that's true. That's
How do you
fact.
feel about that?
I think I'm really good at reading, especially my significant other. So for you to say men in general just kind of acknowledge a woman's characteristics or anything that they're about faster than a woman, I can't agree with that.
Yeah.
In the talking stage, we're trying to get your attention to show that we're we're the ones for you. And that's how we have to pay attention to everything. Now, at the point where we become significant to you is later on, because we're already trying to approach you and get you hooked on that.
I think
So you're saying that. So you're saying that
Okay.
once you have learned about us, that's when we're more open to becoming more.
Yeah, that's when you start to pay attention more.
And I agree. I like that.
I like that.
I like the way that you put that.
So the next thing, I know another question that we wanted to go over together was women have it easier. So before we get into that, I want to note this real quick. A lot of times when, especially since we're just talking about how men and women just assess each other overall, keep this in mind. A lot of times, whenever men are looking at women, we're more looking at her from an outward perspective. Simply just like, how is she dressed? How does she carry herself? All the other stuff. That stuff that we pay attention to. And then a lot of times when women look at men, it's what does he do? What does he have?
What can he bring to the table?
What can you bring me?
What can you bring to the table is like number one, pretty much.
But it's not that way for women.
Okay.
And so now, women have it easier than men. Now, what's our thoughts on that?
I just thought it was interesting how one of the points that was brought up was that women are constantly like protected and women are constantly like looked after by the man, so that in turn like makes it easier. Like we constantly have people looking out for us. But my like rebuttal to that is, don't you think the reason why men are looking out for us is because we have it so difficult? Like women, we literally, and I'm gonna go like, because you got someone mentioned the club. I'm gonna go into the club. We literally have to go to the bathroom together, like in a group, right? We'll be in a restaurant and I'm like, I'm bringing my girl.
Exactly.
Because we are not protected, like you say. Like, and it, I don't know. I think you know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
But I kind of touched on
no, yeah,
you did, but then it was still like, so they're constantly protected, so therefore it's easier for them because we're constantly having to look out for them. We're sacrificing ourselves for them. Like, no, we watch our back. We have to watch our back all the
moment
time.
you walk out the house.
The moment I walk out that door, I'm on alert for everything that's going on. Always.
Just like she said, like just the moment you walk out, like even being in the car and you're stopping and you see a guy next to you in the car and they're either like trying to look at you, trying to talk to you, or even following you because I've had moments that I'm trying to just drive to Publix and this whole guy is just following me and I'm just trying to do groceries. Like at the end of the day, we do not have it easier because it's just like I have to wake up and just have to be assertive with myself and like know myself in order to just like, damn, am I gonna make it through the day without something happening? Being harassed, make it through the day and nighttime.
Constantly being judged. We walk out the house, we are constantly being judged as soon as we walk out of that house, from what we have on to how we're walking to how we're presenting. It's constant like things that you have to be aware of just as a woman, and that's just physical. Like we haven't even touched anything else. Like, and then when you take it into business, like our opinions are not as, I wouldn't say important, but maybe even relevant. Like at the end of the day, the man has to say so. Like say if they worked a 9 to 5. Most of the time my opinion wasn't, when I had a job, my opinion was not asked. I wasn't asked what I felt or how I saw a situation, because at the end of the day, my boss was a man and what he decided is what went. Like we are not looked at as equals. And that's proven in pay. That's proven in job positioning. Like you say, the type of jobs that we're getting are the jobs that are fit for women because we're supposed to be the caretakers. You mentioned teacher. Yeah. You mentioned nurse. Like not doctor. You mentioned nurse. You know what I mean? Because those are the positions that women are supposed to be in. You know what I'm saying? That was my issue with the whole women have it easier.
I think overall, women have it easier just to live their lives. I still do believe that, because even with all that being said, everything that men do is still with women in mind. I think that it's more difficult for you to be out on your own, or for you to break out of the box of protection that we have you in.
They have us in the protection.
I don't know. I didn't know. I need you guys to expand, because I'm not following you at all.
So
I say it's a box that we have you in, and I'm referencing that as just far as the concept of a male-dominated society.
Okay.
There is a almost veil of protection that we have over you that kind of puts you in these areas, whether it be jobs, what you are expected to do in the household, anything like that.
That's protection?
And it's the intent is protection. The intent is protection and to make your lives more easier. It's supposed to make sure that your needs are met, you have security, and all this other stuff.
Wait.
Yeah.
No, I don't even want you to finish your point. I'm so lost. No. You said so many things. You said needs are met. Like, wait.
needs are met if you guys are trying to provide us these.
And you said constantly jobs, but that's in a form of control. That's not
that's
needs.
you just said control and everything you just spoke about because
to make sure that you got.
So,
I don't even know where to start.
So, this is a male-driven society. I'm addressing how things are already set up.
So
I think the overall intent was to protect and make things easier for women.
Do you guys
but
agree
the
with that?
difficulty comes in when
Okay.
you try to branch out on your own and do things for your own.
So
as you're
wait.
doing now.
So because, just to clarify, this is clarifying, then I want to hear what you guys have to say because I'm very interested.
Same.
So because we are now deciding that we want to be boss ass bitches and we want to do what the fuck we want to do. We want to run our own businesses.
Don't wanna be protected
we want
by
to
men.
now, because we are going outside of that quote unquote box of protection, that now our lives are becoming difficult. Is that what you're saying?
Shit.
That's kind
Because
of
that's literally what that's what
I
you said. So I just want to make sure that's what you meant.
Yes.
Okay.
Coming out of that
what do you
box
guys have
is
to say
making
about
it
that? Because I just want to make sure that's where you were going. Box of protection. Nigga, I wish I had a box of.
For real, put me in
Gee,
the box.
put me in. Right, box me up.
Just to clarify, that quote unquote box of protection.
Please,
Probably my worst choice of words ever. That box of protection was I was trying to find a different way to say like that male dominated society.
I know what you're saying, but
That,
All right, it was
that in its own male-driven society lets you know who has it easier.
Yeah.
I'm just stuck on this box of protection
Yeah.
and how these jobs are set aside for us to
For
make sure that
protection.
we in our protection. So that means that I'm supposed to be a
Yes.
teacher.
Bullshit.
I'm supposed to be a teacher. I'm supposed to be a nurse. Like I'm supposed to be a housekeeper.
You're not
like
supposed
You're not supposed to be anything.
You're not supposed to be.
But
those
once
are
I step out of that
options
standard, once I step, then I'm on my own. Like my protection is gone.
Yeah, does that not? And when you leave it, available, when you leave that quote unquote, that's y'all go kill me for that.
Yeah, because
But
you
when
said
leave-
it. You
when
said
you-
it.
I'm not gonna take it back.
Okay,
But when you
fine,
leave this,
that's fine.
when you
That's my
leave
fault. I'm not
that,
gonna take my foot off your neck either.
when you come under any type of veil of protection, life becomes more difficult. That's like if you're living under your parents' roof and then you venture out under your own, your life becomes more difficult. Would it be easier for you to stay and live in your parents' house and still like follow their rules, continue living how you? It'd be easier to do that, yes. But when you want to branch out on your own and do more, or when you want to do things more catered to you, that's when things become more difficult because you have to figure it out. Not necessarily because it's just made harder for you specifically, it just naturally becomes harder.
As the more dominant, I guess, gender, like society, like, 'cause let's get like, it's a man's world. Like we've always heard that. We've always heard that,
Just living in it,
right?
Yep.
Okay.
So, in your world,
What you need me to do?
it is what you make it. No, in your world, if it's your world, it is what you make it, right? So if we make it, it's as dangerous as we made it out here. You know what I'm saying? Like we made it uncomfortable for them to go outside, and
Yeah, because
you know what I'm saying? Like
men did do that. Men did do that.
we made it like that.
Yeah.
They're saying, watch out for these crazy ass niggas out here, because niggas will follow you to your house.
To
and
your
do
car.
that.
To your
You
car,
know,
to
like,
your house,
that's-
to where you
I feel like I feel like you're proving that point by saying that. You know what I'm saying? I think we have it easier, man.
I just want to make sure that you guys understand that we are not in a box of protection. This is why women have started to band together, because
to get out of that.
Like it's almost like a male control, like your protection, like the box that everything that you are saying that's in this box are things that we are like trying to run away from low key, because we've been
I'm not
controlled
trying to be doing what
and
you guys are doing.
confined
I'm
for
trying to do
so
my own
long.
thing.
Like we want to.
Something real quick. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Go ahead, Drew.
So you, Robert, specifically, keep saying that like this box of protection that you keep talking about so much, that you're saying that everything that you put us in that box for is for our benefit. I think everything you're putting us in that box for is for your benefit.
Facts.
That's the difference.
100%.
You're putting us in that box of being a homemaker so you don't have to do it. You're putting us in a box of cooking dinner for you so you have dinner when you come home. You're putting us in the box of being a nurse because you guys get to be the doctors. That's the difference. You're saying you're putting us in this box for your benefit, not for ours. That's the difference that I think you're missing here. It's not for our benefit at all. Yes. I think you are.
I wanted to ask though, like about like the submissive thing. Like, can a man be submissive in a relationship? If a guy starts to become submissive to a girl, it's more of a like they start looking at them as a pushover, right? And once you're a pushover, the girl ain't interested.
You gotta have that authority.
You
gotta have that authority.
Like you know.
But there's a balance between that though. You gotta realize that. Like,
and that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I was trying to understand. Like how submissive are we? Like submissive in what ways? Like that's what I'm saying. Like how is a male submissive in a relationship?
How do you expect a woman to be submissive? Like, do you want a yes woman all the time?
No,
so
100% not. So how is a woman submissive though? Like
to me, a woman submissive by like she takes the time to understand you and listen to you. Mm-hmm. Like she like comes to you after a long day and just talks to you. Mm-hmm. Like all right,
that's
like and like she compromises. She compromises for like decisions. Like let's say we're going out here. She says nothing, but like she wants to do this, but she's like, okay, cool, let's do this time and this is my thing another time. Like she puts her man first and her second. That's
what I was saying. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So like you could do that as a male, right? You could do that as a male, but at the moment it becomes submissive, I think that's when like it's like pushover territory.
Like no, like you could do it once. I would do it. like once, but that doesn't mean like you gotta do it every time.
Like
Bobby was fucking shit off.
Like you do what once?
What are you doing once? By the face?
I'm just saying. I mean, cause like as you're saying, like if you have a yes man, like oh yeah, yes baby, I do this for you.
I don't want no yes man.
Well, exactly. You want somebody, but like nah, babe, bring your ass here, let's go. Like,
may I interject?
I think there should be authority though. I wouldn't want a yes man.
Sure.
All right. So I think people just in general have a problem with that word being submissive because they think
it's horrible. That's why I was like, I don't want to say
submissive just is that's like I said, that's pushover.
It just has a negative.
The word submissive, I think people associate it with being weak.
Mm-hmm.
And overall, there's nothing wrong with it. Can a man be submissive? Yes, entirely. The whole part of submission, I believe, is just something built off of trust. When a woman is submissive to her man, that's the greatest thing she could ever give you, because that means she has full trust in you, full reliability. That means exactly.
That's hard.
And I think with men having it, it's like, let's say if we both were to stand up, when I turn my head, she's following behind me. She's not going to question the direction I take her in because she is submitting to me. She trusts what I'm going to do wholeheartedly. We need to go another direction. We turn around. She's walking forward. I'm walking right behind her. I'm not questioning anything. I'm giving her that same type of love, that same respect.
Yes.
And I can still follow suit the same way that she did.
Yeah.
I think being submissive is just, you can trust without question.
And I think another word that we haven't said yet is also that a mutual respect.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when you think like submission, there's not, especially from a man being submissive to a woman, like it's like she doesn't respect him almost. Like this is the reason why she's kind of like taking that authoritative like position, like I'm the boss. You won't do it, right? And it's not in a respectful manner. But I think if there's a mutual respect from one another, I think you said it beautifully. Like in one moment, it's a trade-off. In one moment, like the man could be submissive to the woman, and then in the other moment, the woman could be submissive to the man. But there's never a question of respect. There's never a question of he's telling me to do something like. To you know what I'm saying? To be
usually just
you want to do this? Go ahead, baby.
You gonna do it. It's not like you gonna do this. You know what I mean? Because I'm telling you to do it. It's like I know that she trusts whatever I'm telling her, and I would do the same thing for her.
Exactly.
I would do the same thing for her.
And that's that's just companionship.
Yeah. So I think, so does that clear your?
Yeah, definitely. Because the word submissive, it
charges. It's a charge.
It's
a charge. It does charge something. Yeah.
So. Again, I want to personally say from the bottom of my heart, J.Machell, thank y'all for coming out. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you for having us.
This was beautiful. This was wonderful.
Yeah.
All right.
It was fun.
Make sure y'all follow, hit them up for any of their services.
Brand name, marketing events. Hit us up.
All right. Again, I am your devil's advocate, Robert Williams, aka the Free Will. We got Big Bobby. Man, what's your name, man? What we calling you, dog?
Big Dog Mel.
Money Mel.
And we got Big Dog Mel over here. Thank y'all for sticking with us on this 3-part episode. We really hope y'all enjoyed it. And then we'll see y'all back here with another one. All right? Peace.